Well, that's not where we're supposed to drill a hole. That's a hard job.
On what f***ing planet is that supposed to fit?
All right, day 2 Beyond the Build is here. After a pretty much record-breaking day 1, we got the engine out, stripped down to just a short block. Got everything ready to go. We're on a couple parts holds, got the heat exchangers out. Taylor did the coil relocation in record time. So, I mean, we're pretty far ahead of the game right now as it stands. So, what do we got left to do today?
So, you talked about parts holds. Those parts holds are going to be rectified today. We've got LME showing up with the Edelbrock CNC ported heads, their DOD delete kit and VVT delete kit. Everything we'll need to assemble the long block complete. So, while we're waiting on that this morning, we're going to go ahead and install the DSX tuning fuel system, button up the heat exchangers. When the parts get here from LME, we're going to button up that long block, get it fully assembled, and by the end of the day, have it sitting back in the car.
All right, guys, it's day 2. Sun's out. We're ready to get to work. We're on parts hold currently for the short block that we don't have heads for, and we're waiting on a couple other things, a nice billet front cover. So we're going to get started on this fuel system from DSX. We're going to start tapping into this fuel tank, drain out some of that fuel, and we'll go through the parts and see if we can get some fuel system going.
With any supercharged application comes the need for additional fueling. Our fuel system was provided by Dave Steck at DSX Tuning. Dave sent us this complete plug-and-play system for the 2016 to 2019 Cadillac CTS-V. The system comes 100% complete, ready to plug in, and the most amazing thing about it is this DSX Tuning proprietary controller that uses CAN bus data to control the auxiliary pump itself. There's no need for a Hobbs switch, no need for vacuum or boost reference lines. You simply plug this in with the supplied harness and everything is controlled via CAN bus. This is an amazing system. This will absolutely get us to our horsepower goals that we need safely on both pump gas and on the VP MS109 that we'll be testing with.
What happens when you forget to drain it out before you build it? What? The camera guys just say, get into it, get into it. I gotta go.
So, Taylor just wrapped the fuel lines, looked at the directions, but did his own way because it looks better that way. You can see, plumbed all the way through. Nice little cross. This module you got to hook up to what, the parking brake?
Yeah, the old DSX system was literally just a little controller that you ran through the map sensor. It had a Hobbs switch and power ground, and it was done, and you route the stuff down here. But now you have to bypass and hook into the parking brake module
way up there,
way up in here,
top
and then
of the
it's
diff.
got like a little piece mount. So, first time doing this, their new system. It's supposed to work better, so we'll see.
And that is going somewhere up there, so have fun with it. All right, so we got it up in there, but here's a little bit of the issue. We're what, about a foot, 3 feet short? That's a long 3 feet.
Yeah, I mean, normally
wires have to go to here on the backside, but we're barely getting past that back lift arm. Time for some custom wiring. Our Chevy parts. All right, he found us. Cool. Got some new parts from the Chevy dealer, so we're gonna be ready to rock here in a second. And still waiting on heads though.
Day 2, Alex Laughlin's arriving, and he arrives in about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna go pick him up, go to the airport, see you there. Hello.
I didn't know if I was gonna see a Hellcat, a Corvette, a GTR, or a Tesla.
And we are off to the shop. Here we go.
All right, so Mike stepped out. We sent him on a parts run. Taylor's moving forward with the engine build, and he's taking parts off and putting parts on, so I wanted to see what he had going on and why. What do you got going on here, Taylor?
Well, we got this billet front cover from LME. It's got a LT1 front seal in it, which we don't like because they tend to blow out a lot easier. So we're going to replace it with an LS style, which will last way longer, keep the oil in the engine.
So an LS, like Gen 3, Gen 4 oil seal is compatible with an LT.
Yes, sir.
And an improvement. Who would have thought?
So Fuel Tech was nice enough to send us an FT450 and a steering wheel setup with a trans brake, and Mr. Alex Laughlin and I are putting it together, figuring out where it's gonna be at the shop, and it's a practice tree. So anybody that comes down VIP experience, anybody that comes by Speed Society headquarters, this is what you get to play on. Something cool. Absolutely cool. Steering wheel right there. So we're gonna get some diamond plate. Alex is over here making noise right now.
We don't have all of the right equipment, so.
Okay. I'm here for the comments at this point.
What kind of meth project is going on here? Is this a dashboard?
Being creative.
Yeah.
Kind of like it. Kind of see where you're going with it.
Right?
It's gonna be mounted on that VP thing, be a rolling FT450 reaction game.
That's what's up.
And we finally have parts. We had the boys going and looking on the route for everybody else, trying to find the guy. We're showing up a little late, but we finally got some parts. Finally throw some stuff on this engine.
All right, so we're going to take a few minutes to talk about one of the most crucial aspects of this combination, and that would be the camshaft itself. We've taken out the stock LT4 DOD VVT camshaft. We're going to be replacing it with our Cam Motion supplied billet core non-DOD, non-VVT camshaft. DOD is displacement on demand. The reason we want to get rid of it is there's an additional failure point in the engine with this spring-loaded lifter that essentially collapses and can cause premature wear or failure. We're going to replace all the lifters with a Johnson 2110R hydraulic roller lifter that is extremely reliable and will withstand the environment that we're going to put it in here with this big power combination. The other thing we're going to remove from the engine is the variable valve timing. VVT allows the camshaft to move back and forth via this cam gear, which is spring-loaded and as well as fed by oil pressure. Movement of the camshaft back and forth is great in a not naturally aspirated, low-performance application where you're looking to pick up any amount of power down low as possible. But with our Whipple 2.9 liter feeding this engine, we don't need that. So we're going to remove that, replace it with a standard single-bolt cam gear that will allow no movement from the camshaft itself and will keep cam timing exactly where it needs to be throughout the entire RPM range. To do this, we do have to replace the OEM front cover that has the VVT provisions built into the front of it with this gorgeous piece from Late Model Engines, their billet CNC VVT front cover delete kit. So as you can see, quite a drastic improvement in quality and aesthetics, and will help us get the job done with what we're trying to accomplish here.
It's time. Look at that form. First things first, lube that cam up nice and good.
A little shout out, we like to use this Lucas Oil stuff. Super good, super sticky, and it's good for just keeping everything lubricated while the engine sits and doesn't have any oil pressure going into it. And as soon as the oil starts going through, it dissipates it and it's nice and happy. So here we go.
Lube it up and stick it.
You never want to go on dry.
Okay, so if you haven't heard of Late Model Engines, you've either been hiding under a rock or you're just not in the LS LT performance game. But Brian at LME came on board in a big way with this project, providing a set of his fully CNC'd Edelbrock casting LT cylinder heads. These are a huge upgrade over the stock casting LT4 heads, and we're extremely excited to get them on the car and see what the power potential really is with this combination. Lastly, LME provided a set of our raised letter valve covers that we do in-house at Vengeance Racing exclusively for this build as well. Be sure to give Late Model Engines a telephone call to discuss your LS LT performance needs. We wanted all the advantages possible in this build, and Brian at LME wanted to show off his handiwork. We've done a side-by-side comparison here to show you physically how much beefier this aftermarket head is compared to the OEM head. Again, this is a completely aftermarket casting. Edelbrock pours this casting in their foundry and then ships it to late model engines as a porter's casting. Late model engines takes over from there and does their proprietary intake, exhaust, and combustion chamber work, as well as numerous other features on this cylinder head. These heads flow right at 400 CFM on the intake and just over 300 CFM on the exhaust. One of the ways this exhaust flow is achieved is the fact that the exhaust runner has been relocated almost a full 1.5 inches to give it a much straighter shot out of the engine versus the OEM casting having a very sharp radius turn exiting the engine. These cylinder heads come fully assembled from late model engines, ready to bolt on, including your choice of spring kit. In our case, we've got a BTR 660 lift dual spring with titanium retainers. These cylinder heads also allow use of LT1 or LT4 applications. They've got dual bolt pattern in the intake for your manifold or your supercharger. Late model engines is based out of Houston, Texas, so this cylinder head is 100% made in the USA, ready to bolt on to your Gen 5 LT1 or LT4 application.
It's update time. We're throwing these awesome LME ported Edelbrock heads on here. Just trying to set these down. Clean deck surface, brand new head gaskets. We set this head on here and put a little bolt in the middle, get everything nice and secured so we can make some power and get things going.
And on top of that, 12 days left. So, well, the professionals are inside working and torquing heads properly. These guys over here decided to go Facebook Live, and I think they're drilling into a fuel barrel with, yeah, a little drilling into a fuel barrel. What's in there? Some papers? What's that smell?
No,
You gonna wire some stuff to that too later?
Hey, go back and film beyond the build. We can't come over there, all right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to give a huge shout out to SCOGGIN Dickey Parts Center out of Lubbock, Texas. SCOGGIN Dickey came on board in a big way to give us a hand with all of the miscellaneous high performance items that we needed to complete this CTSV. SCOGGIN Dickey is a OEM parts center as well as an aftermarket high performance parts center. They've even got a high performance engine build facility within their own company. They got us all of our gaskets we needed, head gaskets, exhaust manifold gaskets, our ATI super damper, our Nick Williams 103 throttle body, ARP hardware fasteners, CHE Bush trunnion upgrade, timing chain, and lifter trays and lifters. Thanks to SCOGGIN Dickey for a huge help.
Where are we at, Mike?
Started at cars, now I'm at rockets. Elon Musk, Tesla, watch out.
Where are we at?
We're sticking with gasoline.
Where are we at with this?
All right, so after some delays today, Taylor kicked ass and really picked up the slack on UPS's behalf. The heads got here at about 2 o'clock. The heads are back on, the front cover's back on, oil pan's back on, and we're gonna stick it in the car because that was our goal for today, is this needs to be in the car by the end of the day, and we aren't any quitters. Me and Alex gonna kick it up nicely. Jump it out. All right, so as we said, before we go anywhere tonight, the motor's gonna go in, and it is in the car. Taylor kicked ass today, but we're not done yet. What are we gonna do next?
Bro, the night is young.
Yeah.
We're putting headers on. We might even stick the blower on.
Yeah, sun's still out, so.
I mean, even the sun goes down, dude. We got that midnight oil. Let's burn it.
We got plenty of fuel here to burn it at least till midnight, so.
Yeah, we got this.
Let's get some shit done. Taylor's over here just crushing it and powering these headers out.
Yeah, I got some help.
My hat's off to him. Ron's holding down the caliper over here.
Hey man, I got the light.
Oh,
And I was on the death trap dropping the header into the top.
you're my hero.
No, I'm nobody's hero.
All right, so we may not be any SpaceX, but we are getting there with our rocketeering skills.
We're practicing.
And we're gonna show you guys how that works.
So is this okay to do or not?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
Not okay.
Go.
don't ask stupid questions.
Everybody
Just go.
says go.
Go.
Yeah, go for it.
All systems go.
Oh my God, look, we're at the wall. We're finally gonna call it a night. Motors in the car, headers are on. That was really our big goal. So you can see they're up here. And we ran into a couple, you know, little snags along the way, but as to be expected with any build. And we're in a pretty good spot for Friday. So hopefully we'll have this thing running by tomorrow night. That's the real goal. And yeah, we'll see you in the morning.
We're getting close to making noise. 3 fucking days. Find another shop that can do that shit. Alice is legit. She's not like.
Alice, can you tell us what just happened?
He put a lit cigarette in my pocket. Who does that? I thought he put a lit cigarette in my pocket.
It fried?
But then I thought, there's no way. Nobody would do that.